This is a case where Hillary would make a deal for 2 years or something like that. This is a horrible situation, and the country is watching. And, the amazing thing is the Washington Post and the New York Times are really on this one. And it's very interesting because they haven't been, but they seem to be pretty much on now. Washington Post came out with a big one today, and now I think the Times is going to try and top it.
Don't you think Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren get in because of this?
Well, if they ever wanted to get in, this is the time to get in. If you look, and I looked at the Bernie Sanders numbers, and nobody even heard of him, but, you look at him, and they're in a statistical tie in New Hampshire.
Yep.
And that in itself is incredible, because if you remember when he announced originally, everybody laughed about it. They laughed like crazy. They said, this is ridiculous. And you look now, and he's in just about a tie in a very, very important state.
It's unbelievable.
And it's an incredible thing that's happening, and it's unfolding right before your eyes.
Let me ask you about the big debate tomorrow. I've been watching you in the days leading up to this. You seem to be downplaying expectations. I want to ask you what you think about the debate. And more importantly, you said to me a while back when I was interviewing you that you didn't plan on doing a lot of preparation for this debate.
Sean, there are a million questions. You can take all the questions. And now if they're going to ask tricky wise guy questions, that would be very unfair in my opinion, because there's plenty of them you could ask too, and that would be very unfair. And I'm sure they'll be called out, whether it's me or somebody else, if they're going to ask, like let's study history from 22 years ago. So we're going to find out what they're going to ask. We're going to see if they're well intentioned or not. But I will tell you all I can do. I don't have pollsters. I don't want pollsters. I see what pollsters do. I see Jeb Bush with the simple question on Iraq, was it good or bad? And it took him 5 days before he got the pollsters to give him the answer. Hillary's a big pollster person. She won't make a speech without having it totally vetted by the pollsters, which get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. In some cases, they get paid $100,000 a month. So I am not, into that. I'm just being honest, and hopefully people see what's going on. So far, they certainly have. I mean, in Arizona, I had 15,000 people talking about illegal immigration. And we're just doing, amazing. But I'm speaking from the heart. I'm speaking from the brain. I mean, I know what's wrong with the country. I know better than anybody because I've been on the other side. I've been one of those donors that know, I know the politicians. People said, but you have no political experience. And you understand me. I have more political experience than people that are in office. That's all I've done over my years.
Let me ask you this, because everyone's, wondering, all right, there's a lot of expectation. This could be the highest rated debate in history, in large part because you're there and you're a very big personality. And you're leading in the polls, and you've exceeded expectations up to this point. But the big question people have is Donald Trump going to be attacking people that he's been critical of on the campaign trail? Is that your plan? Are you going to sit back and get more substantive on the economy, on foreign policy, on helping America get back on the right track? What is your strategy going in, if you want to share it?
There's no answer to it, John. It depends on how I'm treated. It shows, it depends. Maybe people will attack me, in which case I will absolutely attack back. Every one of them have problems. And I will certainly attack back. And I respect some of the people up on the dais. I won't tell you who, but I do respect some of the people up on the dais. Others I have less respect for. But I was attacked amazingly by Perry and by the senator from Graham from South Carolina. It was an incredible thing. I was attacked so viciously by those two guys. And they went first. I did not go first. They went first. And I thought their poll numbers would go up. They went way down. Perry was solidly in the debate. You know that better than anybody because you saw it. He was solidly in the debate. Now he's not even in the, in the first tier. And your senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, I thought he'd be easily, because he was just attacking me. He was getting more press than I was. Okay.
Let me ask you a couple of questions,
because they didn't even make it, which was a great tribute, I think, to me.
Why did you get in this race? Why is this important to you? Look, you have more money than, I don't care what anybody estimates what your wealth is. You've released your financial statements. It's still billions of dollars. You have more money than you can spend.
$10 billion. Right. And it's sort of interesting. They don't want to give it the right. I have somebody said 4, somebody said 6, somebody said 3. I mean, I have all numbers all over the place. But the real numbers is over 10.
So why is this important to you, though? In other words,
only from one standpoint. The success is important, and honestly, whichever number you pick, if you pick the lowest number, it's a tremendous success story, but only because that kind of thinking will make our country great again. We need that kind of thing.
Well, that's more my question. Here's what I want to ask you. You have everything. You don't need this. And from what I can tell, you probably lost money, and you're going to spend a lot of money.
I've lost a lot of money. Okay.
So, but what motivates Donald Trump to want to become president? I'm very interested in that answer.
So I'll tell you what. It's a very basic, very simple answer. My theme, and the whole theme of my campaign, is to make America great again.